Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Removing Storage Bottlenecks in Adobe Creative Cloud Workflows, where we'll be talking about the Wasabi Cloud Storage panel for Adobe. I'm Isabel Friedman, Emerging Technology Partnerships Lead here at Wasabi, and I'm joined by my colleague Raul. Do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Hi everyone. Yeah, thank you, Sabal. I'm a senior technical product manager here at Wasabi. I have designed this solution, Wasabi panel for Adobe, which we are going to demo today. In addition to that, I look after a couple other products in the Wasabi product development platform.
Great. So today I'll be going through a few slides before we get into a demo of the Wasabi panel. And first, we're going to kick it off by talking about the challenges in Adobe Creative Workflows. Uh, Hopefully, if you're joining this webinar today, it's likely that you're an Adobe Creative Cloud user. So you might see these challenges and they probably resonate with you. So, one of the first challenges that we're seeing in Adobe Creative Cloud workflows is that the storage is not designed for large scale media. Talking specifically about how in Adobe Creative Cloud, you're only going to get 2 gigabytes to a terabyte of cloud storage natively. That's not really going to be enough for media organizations, education, universities that are working with large media files, uh, videos, photos. You're going to exceed that storage limit really quick. And then teams are often relying on multiple storage systems if they do have a large amount of storage for Adobe. In order to manage those growing content libraries, they might be using hard drives, physical storage, cloud, and they have to really figure out how to use all of these different storages and connect them to their Adobe projects. And because of that, you might see a lot of frequent file movement between the different platforms and searching for files, and that really slowing down the creative process and productivity. And then finally, across all of this, storage costs are rising, especially as the content exponentially grows and as more projects and teams really start leveraging video and digital content. So we see all of these challenges across Adobe Creative Workflows, and Wasabi, as a cloud storage provider, wanted to help solve some of these challenges. And really, we have seen across our thousands of Adobe joint customers a need to really solve for this. So before I get into the specific Adobe panel that Wasabi has created, I'm going to talk a bit about Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage, the foundation to our panel. So with Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage is really cloud storage simplified. We're a single tier of high performance cloud object storage with over 100,000 customers and multiple exabytes of storage across 16 storage regions globally, and we're doing business across the globe. Uh, you can expect to see predictable pricing from us as well, which has really enabled users across the globe to use Wasabi for media storage for active and archive use cases. And what makes Asabi different than the other competitors in the cloud and storage space is that we're providing low price, high performance, secure object storage. We have predictable pricing that's up to 80% less than the comparable solution from AWS, which is AWS S3. And we're not going to charge you for any egress or API call requests. So that price you get with Wasabi is predictable and always what you expect. Then from performance, we're providing an always available tier of storage. So you're able to access your storage at any time, wherever you are immediately. And we're faster than the competition with quick uploads and downloads. And really, that performance also ties into us being S3 compatible, which means that we can integrate with many different solutions across your environment. From a protection standpoint, Wasabi has data center redundancy, 11 nines of data durability, and a whole suite of security features, including immutable storage, but also things like multi user authorization and covert copy, which is a step above immutable storage. So, across all of this, Wasabi really has proven ourselves to be the fastest growing pure play cloud storage vendor with these value propositions. That was recently validated by GigaOM in their recent report, listing us as the best alternative to AWS and classifying us as an outperformer because we were balancing across cost, performance, and capabilities. And I know I talked a bit about price, and so just to get a little bit more specific, Wasabi has that flat rate terabyte per month pricing We have the lack of fees for egress, download, API calls, so you're not going to get charged for those. And then finally, you can purchase both pay as you go monthly pricing, but also we have discounts if you want to purchase upfront with our reserved capacity pricing. And the numbers speak for themselves. And you look at Wasabi compared to the competition and seeing, especially as you start to egress your data, so actually starting to use that data, use that content, your bills from other providers are really going to soar. So it's really important to use a predictable price storage like Wasabi, especially in the media workflows where you're actively using files new and old. So now that I've talked a bit about Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage, we'll talk about the Wasabi Cloud Storage panel for Adobe, which is our direct integration into the Adobe Creative Cloud environment. So the Wasabi Cloud Storage panel provides a window work area within products. We have Premiere Pro, After Effects, Adobe Illustrator, and Photoshop, so that you can access your Wasabi storage directly in that Adobe environment, as you can see in this image here. So you're able to upload, download, manage all of your Adobe projects, and you don't have to leave the Adobe workspace. We have thousands of customers leveraging Wasabi and Adobe today. Historically, you would have to go between your Wasabi environment and your Adobe environment, going back and forth in order to find what you need, bring that into Adobe, then do your editing, then bring that back to Wasabi. And now you can do that all within a single pane. To get into some of the specific benefits for the Wasabi panel for Adobe is that we're helping accelerate those creative workflows. So now that you don't have to move your projects so much between different storage locations and you can access it all within one place, it's just going to minimize the amount of steps taken and just make workflows go faster. You're now able to enhance your team collaboration because you can share your Wasabi storage within your team and also leverage pre signed URLs to share with internal and external stakeholders as well. And now those projects can easily be collaborated on. We're simplifying the asset management because now you can add additional folder structures within your buckets in Wasabi and really create those hierarchies, manage version history, and create buckets to effectively organize your assets within Wasabi to then be used easily within the Adobe platform. And then you're going to get that greater control and visibility because you can easily monitor every upload and download, delete files in real time so that you're actively paying attention to your storage, knowing what you're using and what you're not. Now that we've gone over the Adobe panel, we're going to talk about how this fits into a few specific industries. So first we have media and entertainment. This is an obvious, place you see Adobe workflows happening. But what's really interesting about this is the Wasabi panel is actually allowing camera to cloud workflows in real time. So now, if you have someone filming in South Africa and your editors in California, that cameraman can immediately add that footage to a Wasabi bucket, and that's going to be immediately accessible to the team in California or accessible for them at a later time if they're maybe not even awake yet, and they'll be ready to go to start working on their editing the next day. And again, that's going to really just allow that global access of large media files. You're not going to be limited to your Adobe Creative Cloud storage. Then you're going to have that predictable project budgeting as well, so that when you go into a project, you can predict how much it's going to cost and hopefully stay on track versus the alternative where you might have egress fees or other fees that are going to just make that very hard to budget for your clients. And in education, we see that Adobe applications are being used both by students and by faculty. And especially if you're in a school that's doing a lot of, film projects or photography, you might see that even your students are going to go beyond that Adobe Creative Cloud storage limitation. And today, a lot of the times you see that students are then using flash drives or external hard drives, but there is inherent risk to using a physical device, right? Could get lost, it could break, and really the cloud provides a simple extension of your Adobe storage for both students and faculty. And also, it's going to enable simple collaboration across projects. Students and faculty and teams can share Wasabi storage in buckets. And then that's going to be a predictable, budget friendly approach for education that has much, stricter buying cycles and budgets than a lot of other industries. And then in enterprise and corporate environments, we're just seeing an exponential growth of media in these spaces. We're hearing that every company is becoming a media company because of podcasts, videos, photos, just being a way to get information out there, a way that people want to digest new information. And really, enterprises need that bottomless storage for Adobe workflows. They are going to be going above that terabyte limit almost immediately if they are really creating a whole media side of the information that they're providing to their customers. They can now organize that content by their team, projects, departments, and it's really great because Wasabi is a good storage solution for many use cases. And we really see in the enterprise that you might have the media teams, IT teams, and analytic teams using Wasabi storage for different use cases. And this panel just helping make that specific to the marketing or media team within the organization. And now that we've talked about the different use cases for the Wasabi panel, gone over the benefits of it and Wasabi storage, I'm going to hand it over to Raul to give us a demo of the Wasabi Cloud Storage panel for Adobe.
Thank you, Isabel. That was great. I will dive right into the live demo. Uh, First place to start really is to go to Adobe Exchange and search for Wasabi plugin. This plugin is available for free. There is no cost associated to install this plugin for the supported Adobe products. Since I've already installed it, it says acquired. Otherwise, you will get an option to install. Right? The compatible apps, like Isabel mentioned, are After Effects, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, Photoshop. This introduction screen here on Adobe Exchange gives you some snapshot of what the application looks like in the real term, in the real scenario. Some info about Wasabi and what's new. If we are pushing new changes to the Adobe Wasabi panel for Adobe, we will update this section here. Since this is the first version, really it lists down all that we have released. You can always look for the documentation section here on how it works. Our website link is here, and to get support, you have options here. Once you install the app, once you click on install, uh, if you have Creative Cloud app installed on your local workstation, be it Mac or Windows, uh, Creative Cloud application will open up and it will take you to this instance or this screen that you see on my screen. Uh, this is the Manage Plugins window managed by Creative Cloud. You will see the list of all the plugins you have installed using Adobe Exchange. So here you will get an option to click on install, like this application here. Once you install the application, a CEX file gets downloaded locally on your machine, which is kind of an executable if you want to think it that way. And then once the application or the plugin is installed, when you open up one of the supported products, which is Illustrator, After Effects, Premiere Pro, or Photoshop, you should be able to see the Wasabi plugin. So for this demo sake, I will use Adobe Illustrator. I just opened the Illustrator product, and here on the Windows options, you will see extensions. And under extensions, you will see all the plugins that you have installed from Adobe Exchange. So for this instance, I will click on Wasabi Storage. Now, the four important screens on this panel, fairly simple and easy to use. The first one is the login screen, and I will walk through all the details about each tab separately. But login, buckets, all the data transfers that has happened, which means all the transactions you made using this panel, that could be update, delete, or download. And then finally the upload screen, and this is where you upload all your local data source from your local machine to the Wasabi bucket. So going back to the login screen, the first screen that you will see when you open the extension is the screen where you have to provide a local source folder or the path where your project files are kept. When you download a file from Wasabi bucket, it will be downloaded to the specified location. If a file you are working on in your project is copied over in this location, which is not uploaded to the Wasabi bucket, that file will be listed in this upload section of the upload screen of the panel, right? Now, access key and secret access key, these are the keys that you generate on the Wasabi Cloud Object Storage portal. Make sure you, when you create the keys, if you are the only user, of course you want to create a root key. Otherwise, if you want to have a control permission, create a key for the user by giving them access only to specific buckets. You can do so as well. So create the access key and secret access key from Wasabi Cloud Storage, and then you have to provide the email associated with that account, right? All this information is used to validate your credentials. Once you're validated, you will be taken to the buckets screen. This bucket screen is nothing but it will list down all the buckets that you have created in the Wasabi Cloud Storage, right? This screen itself has a bunch of cool features. You can sort the buckets based on name alphabetically, or the date last modified. The oldest objects first, new objects first, your choice. You can create a bucket from this panel, so you don't have to go to Wasabi Cloud Storage at all. You don't have to access the web portal. Click on Create Bucket. You have to specify the bucket name. Make sure the bucket name naming conventions, it follows AWS S3 naming protocol. You cannot use capital letters or special characters. Uh, but yeah, I mean, just follow the S3 naming protocol. Create a bucket, specify the region of your choice, and then this is a cool feature, enable bucket versioning. What this does is, if you don't want to if you are collaborating your data with others on your team and you don't want data to be lost by someone accidentally overwriting the file, you want to enable the version. That way, the file that I'm working on, if I share it with Isabel and she works on it, she will end up creating a new version. She won't overwrite my file. So that's the option. You create a bucket, specify the region, enable versioning if you want, and then just create a bucket. It's an API call that's made to the Wasabi portal or cloud storage, and it is instant. You don't have to wait. There is no lag, right? The new bucket will display right here as soon as you create it. If not, just click on the refresh button. It will display the bucket. You can search bucket by the name. Just specify the characters that you want to search for, and it will pull up all the buckets with the name containing those characters. Now you can, when you double click the bucket, you actually are now going down the hierarchy of that bucket. Within a bucket, you can have the files stored, folders created. As Isabel mentioned, that you can create the hierarchy without leaving Illustrator right here. So when you get down to into the inside the bucket, now you have an option to create a folder. So if you are working on a project with different modules, for instance, you can create folder with different module names and then save the files for those modules separately. That way you isolate and group the information together, right? That's one thing. Same feature here. You can sort based on alphabets or the date modified. You can search the file or the folder by the name. Just provide the text and it will start pulling up the results like this. The other option is, if you have too many files and folders you are working with on a daily basis, but only two or three are critical or important to you, you may want to bookmark those files and folders. That way it's easier once you bookmark these, like star. When you click on this icon here, it will pull up all your favorite files and folders. Easier for you to search and work with those objects, right? Couple other features available here. You can download the file. So let's say this acquire free plugin movie. I click on download as a copy. Once the data is downloaded, you will see that information in the transfers tab. This is where, like I was telling, all the transactions will be recorded. Any download, upload, or delete transactions, they will all show up here. Okay. Now this file gets downloaded to the folder or the location that you have provided here. Now going back to this folder again, you can delete a file if you don't like it. You don't have to go to the cloud, delete the file, and that's it. That file is gone from the cloud. You can share this file as a pre-signed URL. You can specify for how long a user can access this file. So you can set up 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever. And after 2 hours, if they try and access the link, this pre-signed URL, it will be deleted. They won't be able to access it. So let's say I say 1 hour and 0 minutes, create pre-signed URL. You can copy this URL, paste it in your email, and send it to the user who you want to collaborate with. That's that. And then let's say you have enabled versioning, okay, on certain file or folders. You will see this drop down kind of icon. Click on that, you will see the previous versions. You can either download one of those versions, share those versions as a pre-signed URL, or delete that version if you don't like it. uh, that's all. Those are all the features available in this panel. Now the next one, again, this is the transaction tab where you will see all the transactions. Now let's talk about upload. So let me open up a file. Let's say I have this demo file open and I'm working on it. Just say save it. Once that happens, the upload file section will pull up this file because this exists in my source, and this file was never uploaded to the cloud, and this is new file, right? So now I will, since I'm in the Illustrator, I get an example to export this .ai file, which is Illustrator based file, into any of the files or the format that I want. So let's say I want to export it as SVG format, for instance. uh, and I click on upload. It will be uploaded to one to many bucket. This is the same bucket that I was showing here on the demo. When I clicked on one to many bucket, this is considered as your go-to bucket for the source folders or source files when you upload them. So I click on upload and immediately I'm taken to this transfers tab. You will see the progress of the upload. It says 100% done. That's it. The file is now available in the cloud. You can access it anytime or anywhere. That's all about the panel. Those are all the features. Very easy to use. You can install the client or panel within 2 minutes. And once you have these credentials, you are in. That's it. You don't have to go out of either of these products, Illustrator, After Effects, Photoshop, or Premiere Pro, to upload the data to the cloud, download the data to the cloud, you know, delete the data from the cloud. All those transactions can happen from the panel itself. That's all about the panel. Isabel, I will hand it over to you.
Thanks for the great demo. And now, just to wrap us up, we're just going to talk about a few ways for you guys to be able to get started today with a Wasabi panel for Adobe. So you could start a Wasabi free trial, and all of these links are going to be available right here on this webinar page. So you could start a Wasabi free trial, download the free Wasabi Cloud Storage plugin on the Adobe Creative Cloud Marketplace, and then we have additional resources like a solution brief overview, our knowledge base, Wasabi Academy, that has how-to articles and documentation to help you get going. But all of this is available in the links on the page here. And thanks again, everyone, for joining. And thanks, Raul, for giving us the great demo.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll see you next time.